Apaga los aparatos. MC, cerra los cuadernos. Lamentablemente no estáis a la altura. Escucha bien. Me buscan discográficas, me mandan los fotógrafos, me llaman de la cárcel para que vaya a firmar autógrafos. Tote, nada de lo que hacéis tiene un riesgo. Yo no escucho nada de lo que estáis proponiendo. Cero. ¿Quién te ha dicho a ti que eso es fresco? Pillo a tus MCs y les enseño a hacer esto. Pa' que me escuchen no tengo que hablar de sexo. Veneno puro, estilo sudo, no soy como tú. Yo tengo actitud, me quedé estancado de roots con el what they do.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you tell them in Spanish so they can see how your Spanish is?
Hola amigos.
What up?
Ahora voy a hacer vamos a hacer un movie night y podemos ver pelis.
Okay. So, he's talking about movie night because instead of watching a movie right now, we're making a video. So, the video has to be quick because he's ready for his movie night. So, I wanted to make a quick video about how to get a visa. If you want to bring your child with you to Spain, how to do it. Things weren't as hard as I thought that they would be. But I think getting the visa for yourself is a little complicated. So for my son, it really wasn't hard. So basically, I went through the Houston consulate because we're from Texas. So Houston. So you don't have to make an appointment. I know with some consulates you have to schedule an appointment. Can you stop? Thanks.
I'm doing this in my face.
Okay, thanks. I know some consulates you have to schedule an appointment. Well, with Houston, it's just walk in with all of your documents in your hand. Maybe wait in the line, maybe not. Depends. I had to wait in the line. Hand in your documents, and that's it. And your child does not have to be with you at the appointment either. He and my husband were downstairs in the car because there weren't any parking spaces. So I just went up by myself and turned in the documents, and they don't need to see him. Thank you. And so basically the requirements are the same for yourself and for your dependent. It can be a child or a spouse or whatever. Can you stop? Can you stop just so I can make the video? Please? Thanks. So there's application. You have to do the application, obviously. Oh, Rah. Please. Just
Whoa!
careful. Just a second, okay? Deal?
Yeah.
All right. So you have to do 2 applications, and your applications need to be turned in together. So you fill out both applications. You fill out your application, and you fill out another one for your dependent. And the things that are not applicable, you just leave it blank. And the things that are applicable, you fill it in. So I can't remember exactly, so please don't be upset. It's been almost a year now since I did this, but I wanted to make a video to try to help someone else. So there's the application. There's application fee. You didn't have to pay double the fee. It was still a lot of money, but you didn't have to pay double. I want to say maybe there was maybe a $20 discount on his application. I don't remember exactly. Sorry. But just plan to pay double and you'll be fine. And they accept cash at the Houston consulate. Right, look what you did. Then you need the passport photos. I don't remember exactly how many, but however many you have to have the same amount for the child or for the dependent. I had to show his birth certificate and basically proving that I was his mother. And because we were traveling alone and my husband wasn't coming, I had to bring a letter that was filled out by him, basically saying that I could take his child out of the country. On the letter, there was also a copy of his driver's license and it had to be notarized. So he said, I allow my wife to take my son out of the country, and the dates of travel. So from this month and this year until this month and this year. Um, the way that I got his driver's license on the letter was basically I scanned his driver's license and I think brought it up on the computer and did like print screen and went into a Word document and then typed the letter basically and then I paste the print screen and then cropped it to where only you could see his driver's license picture. So it's a letter with a big picture of my husband's driver's license, and then he took the letter and signed it in front of a notary, had it notarized, bada bing, bada boom. So, the applications, the fee, birth certificate, passport photos. You need a medical certificate of good health, the same thing that you need for yourself, you need for your dependent. So basically, the same exact letter that I had, like it was the same exact wording. I basically took it to his doctor, and they signed it. He's fine. What else? Medical certificate of good health, insurance. Okay. Please be careful. Look at him. He's standing up on the couch. Be careful, serious. I don't want you to fall.
I got this.
Okay, Power Ranger. Okay. Insurance. So they want you to prove that you have insurance. For us, as language assistants, we have, when we get our carta or our contract, that counts as our insurance because the ministry provides insurance to us, so that fulfills that requirement. However, it does not fulfill the requirement for your dependent. So before even going into figuring out what I was going to do for the medical insurance, I wrote an email to the community of Madrid to ask them if it was possible for me to add my son to my insurance policy. You told me that you told me that you would chill for a second. Let's see how good you can behave so we can see if we're really going to have movie night. Let's see.
A big movie.
Yep, right there. Let's see. So I emailed them to ask if it was possible to add him as a dependent, and then they could like take money out of my pay, but they said no. Yep, just like that. No. So it's not possible. It's not an option. You can forget about it. Even when I got here, the insurance that Madrid provided to us was Cigna. I called Cigna to find out, and the answer was still no. I don't understand why. I mean, for me, it would be easier for him to just be on the same policy as me, but I guess it's too hard. I don't know. So it's not an option. So what I did was I did not want to buy a medical insurance from some American company to cover him in a different country. That just doesn't make sense. So I was like, I don't want to pay this money for this insurance and not know if it covers stuff here. So I just didn't feel good about it. So what I did and what I recommend that you do, don't ask, just do it, is instead of buying insurance, I found an international medical insurance website. I put in all of my information. I put in all of his information. I put everything in as if I was going to buy it. And then when I got to the end, you're making the thing shake. When I got to the end, where you're supposed to pay, it shows like a summary, and I just printed that off. Like I print screened it, put it into a Word document, basically, cut out the top and the bottom, like where you can see that it's a web page. I cropped all of that out, printed it off, and turned it in, and it worked. So basically, all I gave them was a summary or an estimate of how much it would cost. You have to do the same thing because they want you to, in order to get your visa, you have to give them something showing when you're leaving, like a flight itinerary or something to that nature. And you don't want to buy your flight if you don't know that you're going to have a visa. Like, you don't know if you're going to be approved. So what everyone does is they just like go to Expedia's website, put a flight in for the date that you plan to go, and they print that off and they use that. Well, it's the same thing with the medical insurance. Print off a estimate. They don't know the difference really, or if they do, they just don't care. No pasa nada. So that's what I did. But I did actually have an insurance for my son when I before I came. It was through a CISA, and the family that I initially stop because you're making a shake. The family that I came to stay with, they helped me to get this medical insurance for him. So he had insurance through a Spanish insurance. The name is a CISA. However, a CISA costs 70 euros a month. Okay? So when I got here, it's fine. Okay, whatever. One time I had to take him to the doctor. I don't remember why. I think it was for a nasty cough or something like that. I don't know. Took him to the doctor, and on the wall, there was this maybe like an advertisement. I don't know. Something basically that the clinic here where we live, in the town that we live in, there's a clinic, and on the wall were rates for their own insurance that they offer. So, and the insurance is 10 euros a month. So, basically, how it works is you pay the clinic the 10 euros a month. They give you like a card. It's something temporary, but it's valid. Um, and when you come, it has a list of all the services that they provide. They provide every service, everything. Anything that you need, they have it. And next to the service, it shows the copay. And basically, for like a normal office visit, it's like 10 euros. So if I'm paying 10 euros a month and I take him to the doctor once, that's 10 euros and 10 euros, only 20 euros versus 70 euros. And my son doesn't get sick very often, so I was like, it's a big waste of money. So I went ahead and canceled the CISA, I think after 2 months of being here, and I purchased the other insurance through the clinic that where his doctor is, where I'm gonna take him anyway, and it's where I go because they accept Cigna also as a private clinic. It's not the public place where everyone goes. So I recommend doing that. I mean, I really recommend doing that because once you get here, you'll see that things are easier. Like trying to find a place, you can't find a place. For example, if you're coming to Madrid, you cannot find an apartment to live in from the United States. I mean, you probably could, but your chances aren't that good. So I think it's the same with the insurance. I think you need to wait until you get here to see what's close to wherever you live, which doctor you want to take your child to, and then find out which insurances they accept. I mean, you could get like a temporary something to cover for a month or so, so your child isn't uninsured while you're here. But I don't recommend a CISA because it costs too much. It doesn't cost too much. But this thing through this clinic that I got, it doesn't cover hospital visits, so that's something else to think about. So whatever. Moving on. What else? Next thing, you have to prove that you can financially care or be responsible for your dependent while you're in Spain. So for me, because again, your carta or your contract covers yourself, it doesn't cover a dependent. So basically, and I think it's a number that they made up, honestly, but you might, if you're not from the Houston consulate, if you have to go to a different consulate, you might want to call the consulate to ask them how much extra money you need a month to be able to be approved for a visa. They just told me $1,000. I think that's just what the person said that day. So $1,000 for Houston. So either I would have to, if I got a letter for example, for my husband, a letter stating that he would pay me $1,000 a month, like child support or something. With that letter, the letter has to be notarized. Of course, everything needs to be notarized. Everything has to be official. Your medical certificates of good health, it needs to be notarized. Your background checks, oh yeah, you need a background check, but obviously if you're bringing a child, they don't need a background check. But I think if you bring a spouse, they do need a background check. So all those things need to be like official when you take them to the consulate, and the consulate is not going to accept, well, the Houston consulate will not accept your documents if they're not valid. So if you're missing something or if something isn't right, they aren't going to accept anything. So you'll know if it's right or if it's wrong. Okay. So the sponsor statement. If he were to write a letter saying he would send me $1,000 a month and he got it notarized or whatever, I would also have to provide something like pay stubs or bank statements or something to that nature to prove that he has the capacity to send me that kind of money. So if you're using someone, you have to provide bank statements or check stubs. And I don't have to go through that. So what I did was I went to my school because I'm still taking online classes through my university because stop. I mean, I'm taking a break from my master's, and while I'm here, I didn't want to just. Ow! Serious? Pick it up. He's officially a Spanish kid. You can't reach it? Okay, go around and let's get it. It's late. It's past midnight. It's 12:20 a.m. Got it? Can you get it? So, okay. I didn't want to have to go through that. So, it's up to you. But I'm taking online classes through my university, and with that, I still get financial aid, like loans, scholarships, grants. So basically, what I did was I had my university to write a letter, the financial aid office to write a letter saying that you can't reach it. Don't worry about it. We'll move the couch in a minute. So I had financial aid to write a letter saying that, okay, such and such is a student at, and it was on the letterhead also. Such and such is a student at, Texas A&M, blah blah blah, and on August of whatever 2000 whatever, she will receive X amount of money, and then again on January of whatever, she will receive an additional la la la, and then signed by someone and notarized also. If that's the route you're going to take, the university has a notary, so they can notarize the letter for you. So that's what I did because it was easier for me. I don't have to go get something from the bank, find check stubs. Who has check stubs anymore? And I don't want to use this check stubs anymore. It was just too much. And I was already at my university because I had to get my transcripts and stuff. So I was like, hey, why not? So that's what I used as my sponsor statement for my son. If you have another brilliant idea, I'm sure it'll work. Or if you this sounds terrible. If you can write your letter yourself, I really don't think that these people are just that thorough about it. And honestly, I haven't needed any money from my husband or from my money from school. I haven't needed it while I've been here. I've been living perfectly fine off of the language assistant pay. So initially when I got here, I did withdraw. I came here with $0, as you know, from my previous video. And I didn't call my banks to tell them I was leaving the country. So when I did try to use my credit card in the airport, it didn't work. But later I got in touch with the bank and got that sorted out. But when I first got here, I think I withdrew about $300. Well, it was $300 in our money, so like 200 and something euros, just so that I could buy his stuff for school, like the things that he needed for school. So, and then recently, I just recently moved into my own apartment. I'll make a video about that later. But I was a little broke after that, so I had to use my card to spend about $100 on food. Well, no, 100 euros. So it's like $130. But still, that's nothing. Like, that's nothing. Like, it's totally possible to live here with a dependent. So the $1,000 a month. Like, really, what are we doing? Like, traveling to Paris every week or what? No. So, um, that's it. If you have any questions, please send me a message or write a comment or whatever. But I hope that this video has helped someone. I think when I applied to the program, I was looking for people like in the Facebook groups, someone who came with their kid, but there was no one. So I had like no one to tell me how things go. I had no idea. I had to figure it out on my own. Luckily, it wasn't hard. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I mean, it was just as stressful and as hard as doing it for myself. So don't think that just because you have a dependent or dependents that it's going to be super super stressful, because it's not. It's to me it's I think it's the same. So that's it. Thank you. Bye. Say bye.
Bye bye.
He's ready to watch a movie. Okay. Bye.